The federal government is sparing no expense for its race-based referendum, dedicating $365 million to it over the next 3 years. The bulk of that's going to the Australian Electoral Commission. Liberal Senator Alex Antic joins me now. Alex, this is a lot of money. Surely there are better things to spend it on than trying to enshrine racial privilege into the Constitution.
Yeah, well, you said it, Rita. There are so many better things to have spent this money on. We just don't have time to go through them all. But I mean, I think of things like the healthcare budget. I mean, there's so much money being needed pumped in there. And what do we get out of this? We get an allocation for mental health issues that arise from the stress that Indigenous people might find themselves under from this. I mean, this stuff just doesn't live in the real world. This doesn't stand the pressure test. And Australians know it. As you said in your intro, most of this is going to the Australian Electoral Commission. But it's scattered everywhere. This is just more examples of the Australian Labor Party throwing money around like they're printing it. And you're absolutely right. I mean, in one sense, what we are actually looking at is an enormous spend, $365 million on a proposal which, if successful, will do nothing more than divide Australians and create another great big bureaucracy, which in itself will then spend money again. So, I mean, this is a disaster.
It absolutely is. We've got 10.6 million of the 365 million going for information pamphlets to outline both the yes and the no cases. These are going to be delivered to households. How confident are you that both sides will get a fair coverage, not just in these pamphlets, but with the media coverage?
Yeah, well, look, Rita, I'd love to say I was very confident, but I've been around this place long enough to know the tricks and trappings of senior bureaucrats, of all bureaucrats really, and the leanings that we see, I suppose, played out in subtle ways. So, look, I haven't seen the detail, but we're already seeing the AEC advertising, for people to sign up, and they will say, to sort of register on the roll, which is all fine. But the tricks and traps that are going to be used across the board by all departments, all across the swamp that is Canberra and the Canberra bubble, is going to blow people's minds, I think.
Now, the Sydney Morning Herald is reporting that New South Wales opposition leader Mark Speakman has said that he wasn't consulted on former Premier Dominic Perrottet's support of The Voice. So it's been reported the New South Wales Libs might be backtracking on their support. What are you hearing?
Well, not much, Rita. I've got to say, I'm reading what you're reading, but I'm liking what I'm hearing, and I think it's a good thing. I mean, the more support for the no case, because it's going to be needed. Of course, every corporate in the country is going to be backing this in. So we need every man, woman, and child on the field here pushing back on this. So it's good news. And I think it's sensible news. I mean, I think we need to be... in many ways, I think this is going to be a little bit like the Brexit campaign, where we've got the establishment and big business pushing on one side of the door,
yes,
and the everyday Aussies on the other side of the door. And I am very, very hopeful and confident that Aussies are going to work this one out.
I hope so, because the big guns are going to come out. We're going to see big spending from your sporting codes, AFL, NRL, Cricket Australia. Just about every celebrity, every cultural institution is going to jump on this. So they're going to try to guilt the population into supporting this race-based referendum. But we'll see if Australians withstand the pressure.